Think that when his nation is burning from the East Coast to the West Coast, that he would get up and try to unite people, try to bring people together, try to condemn the social injustice that brought us to this point. But no, he wants to thugify black folk. When white folk came to Michigan, armed to the teeth, carrying AR-15 rifles, dressed in combat gear. Come on, somebody, carrying nooses and waving racist Confederate flags. He called them very good people and demanded that the governor of Michigan cut a deal with them and talk to them. But when black folk came to protest the unjust murder of black people, he called us thugs. Yeah, thugification, demonization, and criminalization are all attempts at ultimately dehumanizing us. Because if we can prove that someone is less than human, then we can justify killing them.
All right, 90.7 WTCC. Good morning to each and every one of you. Welcome to another remote edition of the Spoken Word. Welcome on this Monday morning. A lot of stuff going on across the nation. Y'all's president is having a rally on the 20th. At first, he was going to do it on Juneteenth, but now he's going to do it on the 20th instead because he was tone deaf, and I guess folks got to him, and you know, it is what it is. Now here's the thing. I want y'all to pay close attention to this. Dr. Fauci came out last week and expressed his grave concerns about coronavirus being spread because of the protests that are happening all over the nation. Now, you know, and here's the thing. I think that's a legitimate concern. If folks are not social distancing, if they're not wearing masks, if they're not practicing, you know, safe practices to ensure that they're not spreading the virus, it's a legitimate concern. I'll tell you what my problem with it is. My problem is, as soon as black folks and other concerned people started protesting about police brutality, the murder of black people, Dr. Fauci comes out and says, I'm worried about this coronavirus spreading.
I'll get straight to the point.
But if you remember, before all of that started, white folks were out there protesting social distancing itself. They were upset that they had the social distance, and so they were out there at state capitals and everything with guns and grenades and Confederate flags and no mask, all up on top of each other, all up on top of the cops. And Fauci said nothing. All of a sudden, when black folks start protesting the murder of black people, it's a problem. You're worried about coronavirus spreading. Now, this thing that Trump is having on the 20th, 800,000 people have registered for it. 800,000 people have registered for it. I'm saying it again, just in case y'all didn't hear what I said. 800,000 people have registered for this rally. More than 750,000 people. First of all, I'm just, excuse me for just being confused as to why 750,000 people are even checking for this dude. But you know, there are a lot of racist people in America. We understand that. But 800,000 people registered for this rally. Of course, the venue is not going to fit 800,000 people, but this suffice it to say, the venue will be full. People sitting right next to each other, on top of each other, the whole nine. Has Dr. Fauci said he's concerned about the spread of coronavirus with so many people joining in a huge rally? Nope. He ain't said nothing. So I'm trying to figure out, and maybe somebody just need to help me understand, because maybe I'm just slow. Why are you so concerned that black people gonna spread coronavirus by protesting, but there don't seem to be no concern about white folks sitting up in stadiums spreading coronavirus? Arsenio Hall used to say things that make you go, make you kind of wonder. In any case, I just thought I'd throw that out there. Y'all can have that one for free. 413-337-1867 is the number here. So, why do black men run from the police? Rashard Brooks was in his car. There's conflicting stories, whether the car was in park or in drive still, whether the car was turned off and he was asleep, or whether the engine was still running. Be that as it may, however it is, it's not illegal to sleep in your car. Bottom line. Not illegal. The cops pull him out of his car to arrest him. He doesn't want to be arrested. He runs away. They shoot him in the back. Here's the thing. If police can arrest Dylan Roof after he murders 9 people at a Charleston, South Carolina church, escort him safely to Burger King to get a Whopper, and then take him to jail, they could have escorted Rashard Brooks home, even if he was drunk. It's just that simple for me. It's just that simple. There is no excuse. There is no, he shouldn't have, shoulda, coulda, woulda. If he had did this, he'd be alive. Blah, 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 blah. No. Police managed to not kill drunk white people every day. Every day. They managed to not kill armed white people. Every day. I mean, armed with tear gas canisters, grenades, assault rifles, all of that. They managed to not kill them every day. I'm tired of hearing this. Shouldn't have resisted, should have complied, shouldn't have ran. Because those rules don't apply to white people. White people resist, they run, They even beat the cops. Go on my social media right now. I've got a side by side. Go to my Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. I've got a side by side comparison of a man named Jerry York, a white man named Jerry York, cops trying to arrest him, and the cops trying to arrest Rayshard Brooks. Right? Jerry York literally throws both of the officers on the ground, gets their baton, beats them with their own baton, gets up, runs, gets in their police car, and takes off. The police didn't use a taser. They didn't use mace. They never unholstered their guns. None of that. None of that. Side by side. And the other video with Rayshard, they shoot him in the back. Don't tell me if you didn't resist. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. Stop it. Just cut it out. Stop insulting our intelligence. Okay? Because white folk cuss police out, resist, hit police, spit on them, beat on them, all that kind of stuff, and they live. And they live. So just get off our timelines. We don't want to hear this nonsense. Don't want to hear this nonsense. All right? Shot in the back over a taser because the police officer was embarrassed. I mean, come on, man. We're out here dying over sleeping and $20 bills, while white folks can kill whole theaters and be taken into custody. If, as a white person, if every time you turned on the television, there was a white person who was unarmed, not convicted of anything, not even certain that they had violated any laws, being killed by police. Every time you turned on television, there was a knee on some white person's neck, choking them to death. You'd run from the police too. Bottom line. And you can go through the gamut of names. Michael Brown, Walter Scott, Eric Harris, Freddie Gray. I mean, the list of victims of police violence just grows larger every day. The public outcry is getting louder. And in the midst of that, they're still killing us. They're still killing us. And this isn't a new phenomenon. Every community has seen police act as an occupying force. Every community where black people are. I don't care where you live. New York City, Baltimore, Springfield, Massachusetts, podunk, nowhere. If black folk are there, you see the police as an occupying force. Okay? I mean, that's just the reality of it. Alice Goffman, if you never heard of her, look her up. Google her right now and look up. She did a project called On the Run, Fugitive Life in an American City. She chronicled 6 years that she spent immersed in the Philadelphia neighborhood of 6th Street. And she documented interactions between the police and her roommates, her friends, and her neighbors. And basically shows us a community living under the shadow of mass incarceration and police violence that are trapped by the technicalities of the criminal justice system. Check that piece out. It's important. And the reality is When I heard about Rayshard Brooks, it didn't surprise me. It did not surprise me that in the middle of protesting George Floyd and protesting police brutality all over the nation, that police would murder a black man in the middle of all of this. It did not surprise me. It's never much of a surprise when I hear it, but it still stings every single time. Every single time. And every time we hear the same commentary from white folk. If Rayshard hadn't ran, he'd be alive today. If only he didn't resist. If Freddie Gray didn't run. If Walter Scott didn't run. They didn't run. If Sandra Bland hadn't been so rude. If she had just put her cigarette out when she was asked to. It doesn't matter that it was a constitutionally protected right. If only Samuel Du Bois hadn't tried to pull his car away from the Cincinnati University officer who emptied a shell into his skull as he drove away. I mean, this is the same conversation that white people have all the time, trying to justify the murder of black people. And so they're persistent with the dumb question, why do they run? Why don't they just cooperate with the police? You know, this is America. This is the white mentality. This is America, a place where you're presumed innocent until proven guilty. Can I tell y'all why? Can I tell y'all? Because I'm a black man. That's why. That's why we run. That's why. It is no secret that the way our society pursues alleged criminals and the way it metes out punishment is a long-time humanitarian blunder. And it is based on racial discrimination. Bottom line, stop denying it. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Bishop. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How you doing?
Just fine, just fine. This is Brahim from the UK. Just wanted to check in.
Yes, sir.
Another inspirational show as usual. And just to piggyback, you always hear about we need more training. We need more training.
Yeah.
No. They can use, there's something called discretion. Mm-hmm. And they could have driven him home, locked that car up, and taken him home. That's what a true community police officer would.
Or they could have just put him out the car and had the car towed so he couldn't drive it. I mean, there's all kinds of things they could have done.
And when I saw that video, I'm saying to myself, this is what they do. I mean, you're dealing with slave catchers. This is the origin of the police, and people need to see that for what it is. Mm-hmm. We can't tiptoe around it. You're talking about a state-sanctioned execution. That's what it was.
Absolutely. That's absolutely what it was.
He was literally running. So for a police officer to draw his gun, that mimics the tactics of a slave catcher. You're not going to get away from me. If you're not going to submit, you will die.
Yes.
People need to realize that.
Yes. I mean, they could have issued a warrant. They could have picked him up and arrested him later. I mean, there was no reason for them to kill him. It was an execution. It was an execution.
It was. And I just really hope that, I think that we need to step back and really start advising our young men we need to be smarter and start playing chess. We have to really look at the climate that we're under now. The age of innocence is over. Yes, you can go out. Yes, you can do this, but you have to just use some common sense. And we are targets. Unfortunately, that's the case. And it's just unfortunate that another black man had to die. But I think we have to look at that we are at a state of almost war.
Yeah.
And if we can't look at it like that, we have to move strategically. You have to be with someone. Don't be out by yourself. Don't have our black women out by themselves. It's a game of chess now.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, you said this is war, and that is important because people keep referencing guys like Dylan Roof and others who want to start a race war. I got news for them. We've been in a race war.
Most definitely. And if we can't see that for what it is, you will have others like Rashad become the victims of senseless. I mean, this was just senseless, and you can't justify this. And after George Floyd was executed, they interviewed the police chief of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And during the interview, she says, this is a different culture. We respect the citizens of Atlanta. We would never do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then what happens?
Live and in living color. So
and unfortunately every police chief, police commissioner, and mayor across the nation are saying the same things. I mean, everybody thinks this couldn't happen in my community until it does. I've been pushing our mayor hard, telling him over and over again, not only could this happen, it has happened. That you've just been fortunate enough that civil unrest did not follow it happening. And we haven't been plastered all over the national headlines because of it. So, you know, it is happening and happens in every single community.
Most definitely. You take care of yourself, Bishop. Stay strong now.
All right, you too. Thanks for your call. 413-337-1867. The facts are just, I mean, they're hard to ignore. Somebody said coming to a city near you. You're right, Stephanie. If it hasn't already hit your city, it's coming. You know, you ain't got to change your address. Just keep living. Just wait. After a while, it'll be there. I mean, hard to ignore. I mean, over the past 3 decades, what have we had? We've had mandatory sentencing policies. We've had aggressive police tactics. We've had a draconian crime bill, thanks to Joe Biden and others, that have caused state spending on prisons to rise at twice the rate of spending on K through 12 education. For instance, since 1980, California has built something like 30 prisons. And in that same period, the University of California system has opened only one new campus. So they're spending far more money on incarceration than education. That's what's going on all over the nation. And even now, most police departments will boast and brag about crime rates being down, being lower than they've been in decades, but yet they continue to arrest and incarcerate at rates that are unparalleled in modern history. If crime is down so much, why aren't the incarceration rates going down? You know, and this collateral consequence affects Black communities. Half of the Black males in these yet to be United States of America, half, and 44% of Latino males are arrested at least once by the time they're 23. Okay, that's what 1 out of 5 Black males has to look forward to before they're 23 years old. They're going to get arrested. Doesn't have to be for a legitimate reason, but it's going to happen. Half of them. I had somebody trying to tell me that widespread racism doesn't exist in America, that black folks aren't profiled in America. Man, if you don't get out my face and sit down somewhere, I mean, you know, at some point in time, what's the number for white folks? I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked. 1 out of every 2 black males will be arrested by 23. Guess what? 1 out of every 27 white males. Okay? You see the disparities in those numbers? That means, quite frankly, the darker your skin, the more likely you'll be arrested and spend time in jail. That's what it is in America. So you've got all of that going on. You've got black people looking at other black people, and black males in particular, looking at other black males being murdered on video on a daily basis. I mean, they can just go and Google and just think about all of the 8, 9, 10-year-old, 15-year-old, 20-year-old black males that are surfing through social media, and they can't surf through social media without seeing somebody who looks like them being shot, killed, or beat by the police. Do you know how traumatic that is? I challenged a white person who was trying to step to me on social media saying I was cherry picking. I told him, I said, listen, I'll tell you what. Tell me when's the last time you saw a white person killed on video by police? And I challenge you right now to post it. I'm still waiting for that post. It hadn't happened yet. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
How you doing, Bishop Swan?
I'm good. How you?
Good. Just deep from Mississippi, man. Hey,
yes, sir.
Brother, I'm always glad to listen to your commentary every chance I get, man, because, man, this stuff, it got to stop, man. It got to stop. I mean, the guy just shot down like a dog, man.
Yes, sir.
And this wouldn't have happened had it been white folk now.
And matter of fact, I'm not even sure it would have happened if it was a dog.
Hey, you took the words out of my mouth. You took the words out of my mouth. That's why I plan on God willing, blood running warm in my veins. I don't want to be in Washington at that rally because, man, we need to be heard.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if it's gonna do it any good or not, but I'm so glad to have a Kojic brother standing strong like you. You know what I'm saying, Bishop Swan?
Yes, sir.
Because our brethren got weak when it comes to concerning the struggle. I mean, this evangelical Jews gonna slip in on us.
Yeah,
I thank God for you.
Yes, sir.
We need God for you.
We need brothers to stand up. We definitely need more brothers to stand up.
Yeah, I admire your leadership, man. Hopefully when it's COVID and stuff over with, I was talking to some brothers, man. Hopefully we can get you down there to speak in Mississippi, because you know what time it is.
Yes, sir. I'd love to come.
Definitely know that.
That's the home state of my people. My father's side of my family comes out of Belzoni, Yazoo County, Mississippi.
Oh, you got that Delta blood.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's why.
Yes, sir.
That's why, Bishop, you got that Delta blood off of you.
Yes, sir.
You come from a different country. That's catfish camper.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. But I'm gonna hang up and I'm gonna keep on listening to your show, man. That's amazing to know. I never would have thought that.
Yes, sir. All right, brother. You take care.
Sir. All right.
413-337-1867. The Equal Justice Initiative has often discussed the callousness that many Americans feel when we hear somebody's been arrested, convicted, or is labeled a felon, and how we stop seeing that person as a human being, deeming that person to be unworthy of our compassion and forgiveness. That's how they dehumanize black people. You arrest them, you give them a felony record, people hear about that, and they automatically devalue their humanness. And we're not blind to that reality. We're not blind to that reality. And when the threat of violence and lifelong stigma looms so large, the impulse to retreat at the suggestion of a threat shouldn't be mysterious. When you are looked at as less than human, when you are looked at as a threat, when you are looked at as a community casualty, as somebody who is expendable, and when you see people who look like you and have similar stories as your story being murdered and then being mistreated even in their death by the media to justify their murder, why wouldn't you run? Why wouldn't you retreat? Why wouldn't you retreat? You know, I mean, most black men think about running from the police because they know that even if they're able to avoid being charged or convinced to take a plea deal or convicted, they would still be confronted with the dim prospect of having an arrest record. An arrest that can appear on background checks when they apply for a job, credit, or housing, not to mention the societal shame that comes along with it. Who wants that when they're already looked down upon just by virtue of being a black male? Being a black male with a record is even more stigmatizing. Yes, so they run. Not only that, they're frightened, they're scared, they don't want to die. Black men die at the hands of police. So many of them are running for survival's sake. They want to live. They want to live. I mean, I never forget, it was a young man named Marquise Weeks. Some of you all will remember him. He was a star football player, star college football player at the University of Virginia, and he had returned a kickoff for a 100-yard touchdown. And when I'm getting right to you, caller. And when they asked him about it and described how he did it, he said it was just instinct. And then he laughed and said, kind of like running from the cops, I guess you would say. That stuck with me. Because here's a black man, college football player, saying I ran that touchdown. It was instinct. It's like running from the cops. It's just instinctive. And that's how black men all over America really feel. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, Talbert. My name is Lisa, and I just want to say I'm such a huge fan. People don't get it. I mean, I talk all the time about white privilege and systemic racism. I was raised, I would say, anti-racist by my parents and grandparents, thank God. And when people don't get it, I get so annoyed, and I also I can't be their friends anymore. So I have a small circle of friends that are like-minded, and if they're not, they know. And
so you've literally had to cut folks off out of your friendship circles.
Oh no, I have cut folks off. Yeah, no, I have. And the first thing I do when I meet people is I immediately I'm like, let's talk about systemic racism. Are you like Trump? And if they're like, what? That's not true. I'm like, okay, bye. I do have to say, though, I do have a friend, a black woman friend who I struggle with because she was raised in an all-white community, she's married to a white man, and she still doesn't believe in systemic racism, and I feel like I should cut her off, but then sometimes I get in a little bit. I don't know what to do. It's very distressing. I don't want to give up, but I also feel like I just get so freaking frustrated with her. So,
but you know, I think
I know that's
that
not
is
the topic, but
I think that's a testimony about the power of white supremacy. When you literally, I was having a debate with a Latino over the weekend on the same thing, who said that widespread racism does not exist in America, and we that black people have a lot of venom and hate toward white folks, yada yada yada. And I said that the power of white supremacy is embodied in people like that, black and brown people who can look at what's going on in America and come to the conclusion that racism is not a problem.
Yes. I do want to let you know, I am going to reach out to you. My name is Lisa Davis. I'm starting a podcast called Active Allyship. It's more than just a hashtag with my friend Sunny. And we're going to be talking about all these issues. And this has been my passion. And like I said, thank God I had my mom passed away 25 years ago. She was absolutely devastated. And I was just so honored to have Swan and to talk further and maybe anything. I just thank you for what you do, really.
Absolutely. I'd be honored to. I look forward to it.
Thank you, Talbert. Have a wonderful day.
All right, you too. Take care.
I love your show.
God bless.
Bye.
Bye-bye. 413-337-1867. 17 minutes left in the spoken word radio broadcast. And of course, we'll continue on our extended social media once that has concluded. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hi. I just logged on to your show, so I'm not sure what the topic is, but I felt like I needed to call in because I'm outraged about the drive-by shooting in Atlanta.
Okay, go right ahead. That's part of the conversation.
I think it was before the incident that happened with Rashad, I believe his name is.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a drive-by shooting in Atlanta that left 2 people dead. And I have been searching all morning on the internet, and only 2 stations have covered it.
Okay. So
and
what's
2 people have died, and I'm just outraged.
What's the nature of the drive-by shooting? Where was it?
As far as I can find from my research that I have done, it was in Atlanta, and he shot. It was a white man that was driving a black truck, and he shot into a crowd of Black Lives Matter protesters.
Oh my goodness!
And two are dead.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
I'm outraged.
Wow! I will certainly research that when I'm off the show. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is, and I don't know what's happening in this country. I really don't. I don't mean to get emotional, but this is horrible.
It really is, and listen, there's nothing wrong with getting emotional. As a matter of fact, that's healthy. It's traumatic. All the stuff that's happening that we see on a day-to-day basis, man's inhumanity to man, is traumatizing. And so, if you don't get emotional about it, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah. I just keep thinking about these poor people they're dead, and we don't know their names, and the guy is still on the loose. And I mean, this is outrageous. And then after that, that Wendy's incident happened at night.
Yeah.
So this was after. This is before that happened. And it's all in Atlanta.
Wow.
So I had to reach out to you because there's only all my research is only Associated Press has it, and Fox 5 Atlanta has the story, and that's it.
Gotcha.
And everybody on Twitter is why is nobody reporting this?
Right. Gotcha. Thank you for that information.
I know there's so much going on in the world, and things can fall through the cracks, but I don't feel like this story needs to fall through the cracks. This guy needs to be put in jail.
Absolutely.
So God bless you. Thank you for everything you do.
All right. Thank you for your call. 413-337-1867. You know, that instinct thing that Marquise Weeks talked about, running that 100-yard touchdown, you know, instinctively, like running from the cops. Um, I mean, it's funny until it isn't. I mean, it's real. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Okay, I wanted to tell you
Where you
what
calling?
happened to
Where you calling from?
me last night, Springfield.
Okay, go right ahead.
And last night I was awakened around 3:30 in the morning due to this loud bang. And as I look out the window, there were 3 white young men drunk that had ran into my neighbor's retaining wall. And they were trying to throw all the bricks back and
go ahead.
trying to push their car out of the way. And what happened is I ended up calling the police. And when the police arrived, before they arrived, they were trying to run away. You can see that they were drunk. They were staggering in the middle of the street. And when the police arrived, it was 2 white police who arrived. And they began talking, and I went to lay down. And then something told me to get back up to see what was going to happen. And as I got back up, it was almost like they were having a party outside. They were visibly drunk. And they were allowed to call somebody else who came and came to the situation. And then they called another cop there. They all were having fun. The people that were driving were helping the tow truck put the truck on the tow bed. And when it was all said and done, they were saying, "Have a good day. You guys don't run into any more walls." The problem is they were visibly drunk. And that could have been my house. That could have been me. That could have been anybody. And of course, because if the situation, and we know how America is, if those were black people, you know what would have happened.
They would have been in handcuffs, on their way to jail, and no telling what could have happened to them on their way to jail.
Absolutely. And this is right here in our city in Springfield. And I was very angry. I haven't been back to sleep yet because of it.
I keep telling people, around here that what they're seeing on television in Minneapolis and other places, that those same things exist right here in Springfield. And we need to raise our voices against corruption. We have been fortunate enough that we have not had the type of civil unrest that other places have, but it's not because we've had the lack of incidents. And we can go through the gamut of police incidents of Taheem Goff and Delano Walker being killed by police, these 5 rogue cops being reinstated by the police commissioner. We can go on and on about the Nathan Bill incident, 14 cops being indicted, and all of the corruption in the Springfield Police Department, and insist that the mayor not beat his chest as if Springfield is doing such a bumper job. And that's the reason it hasn't ended up like a Minneapolis. No, we've just been fortunate. And things like what you saw, people are seeing across the city, the disparity with which police treat white folks and treat black folks. I had a similar incident where these white guys who were visibly drunk ran into a tree on my neighbor's property right next door. And the police never arrested them. Same type of thing. Go on, buddy. Have a good day. Get out, stay out of trouble kind of thing. And I knew that had that been me, I would have been in cuffs. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, Bishop. Thank you. Keep doing what you do.
All right. Thanks for your call. 413-337-1867. The instinct, ladies and gentlemen, to run. It exists for a reason. Black people have been running from people with badges for generations. This ain't nothing new. And for good reason. My first caller, really highlighted the fact that the police are nothing but a descendant of slave patrols. Yeah, slaves who were running from slavery, from tyranny, from lynching, murder, dehumanization. And slave patrols were sent out to bring them back. That was the birth of policing in America. Modern policing is nothing but the descendant of slave patrols. So we've been running from people with badges, going all the way back to the days of slave catchers. They are the predecessors of modern day police. KRS-One put it like this: overseer, 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 officer, officer, officer. It's the natural progression from the overseer to the officer. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Bishop Talbert.
Yes, sir.
I'm kind of glad that you bring up that posting that you put on Facebook with the white guy beat out those two cops.
Yeah.
And drove away in their vehicle, took their vehicle. Because he could have used a vehicle as a deadly weapon to those cops because he could have run them over.
Absolutely.
And so the argument that this young man was running away, he don't deserve to lose his life like that.
Not at all.
Because these people, they want us to just stand up, take their beating, take their insult because daddy is here. Mm-hmm. Don't talk back to dad. We're gonna do anything. And every man, if somebody is getting abused, you have to defend yourself. And my fiance was asking me the other day, how do we explain to our youth? And I'm saying, I don't know. There's no more explanation.
Right.
We can't explain no more. There's no answer we can give to our child why this thing's happening. We are tired now. We're tired. And they're going to continue to do this because a drowning man tries to do everything to save themselves. Mm-hmm. And these law enforcement, they're back against the wall because people are coming out and people are pushed. And we can't stop push. We have to push them till they're back against the wall. And when you're back against the wall, you have no choice but to surrender. And we have one president in the whole United States of America. But why do we have all these police departments with different laws?
Right.
And Bishop, before I go, one more thing as we as people of color, we must stop. We don't need no more police and more police cars in our communities. We don't need it. Simply I'm saying that we want to know who amongst us. Because when you do a business, you have a commercial plate. And if you don't have an emblem or a marking on your vehicle to represent your company, they'll pull you over and give you a ticket. So why should they drive around in our community in unmarked car? A lot of cities, you cannot drive around in unmarked car in their community. Right. So why are they going to do it to us? Who are they taking us? Are we terrorists?
Right, exactly.
Right. Bishop, keep on fighting, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate your call.
Yes, sir.
413-337-1867. 413-337-1867. Listen. We have been running for generations. And white folks who keep asking why run, you don't really want to know because you already know. Black male suspects trying to avoid the police do not justify them being killed. Doesn't justify it. Nothing justifies shooting a man in the back. Nothing. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, Reverend. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay. First of all, I want to congratulate you on all the great work you've been doing, and and your future and your path. because we need more people like you to speak up on racism. And I just want to tell you a little incident real quick.
Okay.
Years ago, my father, he's passed away now. He went to jail to bail out one of his friends, and they arrested him.
Wow. Wow.
You know, so that just shows that mentality of these cops out here. They think they're God, and they think they can do what they want to do. But you know what?
That happened to a black pastor the other day.
Mm-hmm.
5 white
Oh, really?
guys were harassing him, threatening to kill him. He's a licensed gun owner. He pulled out his gun to protect himself. He called the police, and the police came and arrested the pastor.
Yeah, they're so arrogant anyway. You know, you look at them and their eyes are like, you know, they're so cold-hearted. But you know what? Their day is coming, and you know, black people, we have to stay strong and stand up for each other, because if we don't do it, nobody else will. And that's all I had to say. And like I said, Pastor, you're doing a great job.
Thank you for your call. Appreciate you.
Okay, God bless you. Take it easy.
You too. 413-337-1867. I got 3 minutes left in the spoken word, and then I'll continue to take your calls beyond that in the extended version. So listen, before I sign out of the spoken word, let me tell you about this afternoon. Mayor Dominic Sarno is having a roundtable conversation. That he has selected certain people he wants to invite to it and control the agenda. We invited him and the police commissioner to our digital town hall, and they agreed to come and then pulled out at the last minute. We had over 1,000 people that participated, just people from the community. No specialized invite list, people to express their concerns. The mayor didn't want to hear it. He turned around and went to an all-white prayer vigil on racial healing. I'm trying to figure out how you have a prayer vigil on racial healing and ain't no black people there. In any case, I won't be attending his town hall. The disrespect he showed to the NAACP and to the community does not warrant me honoring his invitation. I got to get out your way. Stay with me beyond this signing out. To my audience on WTCC, it's always a pleasure. Until the next time I talk to you and you talk to me, always remember, God loves you, and so do I.
In America, we all count.
All right. Good morning, caller.
Brother Swan, good morning.
How you doing?
Okay, I don't mean to yell because I went to turn my radio down because I was I was on your message.
It's all right.
Yeah, now I'm taking your time up. I was trying to get in there before.
You're on the air. We're good. We're good. You're on the air.
No, I don't want to be. But anyway, okay. All right, because I got to repeat everything I said. Okay, blatantly, it was on purpose. We know that. Mm-hmm. And I'm so, because a lot of people said like half the stuff that I already wanted to say. But at the same time, this happens every single day. So that was just another one that was like on TV. Mm-hmm. Revolution not be televised. That was televised. You understand? So, like you said, how do we you know, every time you turn on the TV, and the lady got so emotional, and I felt her because I had to turn my TV off because literally my morning becomes like so, like I get so depressed and I cry, like, how do I try to help to fix this, you know, because when I have to talk to my son, and he's 22, but he lives in Texas. That's like, what's that called? Lone Star really kill your state, you know what I mean? Like, but I live in Springfield, so like, how to have this conversation like almost every day with him, so he understands. Like, literally, you live in like a nice neighborhood, but listen, wherever you go, there you are. The color of you, you know what I mean?
In Texas, ain't no joke with the bigotry.
Thank you. That's why I have to like keep in his mind, because you know he hangs with white people and stuff, and you know he has a good grade point average, stuff like that. But at the same time, that has nothing to do with literally. You always have to watch your back and just, you know, your P's and Q's. But guess what? What's going on? It does not matter if you watch your P's and Q's. They are literally headhunting us. So at the same time, those are the cops that need to literally be weeded out. That how are we going to figure out this point system? And what I needed to know, what do you mean about the June 20th is not, or it is happening?
June 20th is happening, but it's happening digitally. So I'm gonna pull up the information and put it out there for folks to understand. There will not be a physical march on Washington.
Yeah.
However, the digital march will still be happening.
Most definitely. And that's the thing. Because, see, I'm not like that on, like, Facebook and stuff like that. Like, I barely got Messenger. Seriously. So, this is, like, part of my job, any of my union. So, I've been word of mouth trying to get it to any and everybody I know and see. Just go online, June20th.org.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Right.
You
and
go on there and you can RSVP right there at the Poor People's Campaign. It's happening this Saturday online, and you need to participate. It's going to be. We're trying to break the internet. Okay, we're trying to break the internet. We want to have the largest digital movement in the history of America on June 20th. So anybody listening to me now, you need to go to Poor People's Campaign and register right now.
Yeah, I already did that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm, as like I said, I'm not like social media like that. Like, they shut me down, literally. Like, they closed my account on something else because I've been so adamant about stuff, and literally. So how I like get it out to people is by, you know, word of mouth, telling them and exactly how to, and, you know, I'm on there. There's different things to, you know, like you said earlier, how to tell the you know, young ones and the kids, because social media, they get distracted. You get so distracted, even though you're seeing all the stuff going around you every day. But how to keep them, this is the point I'm just trying to ask and make, how to keep them so totally focused on, like, you can still live, but how to keep adamant and focused on, because this is your lives matter. This is all, I mean, Black lives matter, human lives matter, all lives matter. You understand? Because we all should be able to live together, but no, right now in this age, no, they are literally lynching us. They are literally, and guess what? Publicly. So, like, how we have to, like the other man was saying just before I thought I was gonna get in, saying civil citizens. See, I don't know how that works, but I do remember the Black Panthers. I do remember we can police our own communities, because literally living right here in Springfield, and this is what I got to do too, and you got to bring it to Congress. It's part of my union movement, and to tell them all the situations that I've ever been in as police brutality, which I've been in a few, and I'm a woman, you know, and so all that stuff, you know, don't.
And listen, as evidence would tell you, Don't get it twisted. Our women are affected just like our men are. Absolutely.
Hmm. Oh, they hate us more. I mean, I don't know which one, but I mean, I don't know how to call it sometimes. I swear. But I know one thing. Literally, if I was there for so many of those incidents, I would either literally been killed with them or in jail. Because there's no way I'm just gonna keep my camera on. Yeah, but I would have stepped in like, yo, hold on, that's civil. That's a civil citizen. Like, you're doing something wrong, and I didn't even know that there is a law that. But see, this is the thing that young people don't get educated on, that there is a law. If you see something wrong, either you're going to be accessory to that, or, you know what I mean, you're going to be a bystander to walk away. Which one is it? You know what I mean? But I found there's a law that you might could go to jail too if you just see something like somebody getting murdered in front of you and you don't do nothing, or you know what I mean. It's a hard situation. I got to be a lawyer to do all and say all that, but
yeah, I understand what you're saying. Definitely.
But that's what we got to educate our kids on too, because they're so smart. They come out learning computers, learning code, learning how to do all that. And so they have to learn how to make that work for them. So that's what you're saying, June 20th, they're breaching in the internet, because I thought, okay, what day is the blackout again day? That literally, okay, you buy all your stuff the day before if you got to.
I think that's July 7th, but don't quote me on that. But you should probably look that up. But
Right.
I know it's early July. I believe it's that same around that time frame.
Oh wow! I thought it was last month, and I was
no. There was a blackout.
There
was a social media blackout, but this blackout is a blackout where we're not buying anything.
Nothing.
Where we're not buying anything. We're letting our dollars talk. Yeah.
Thank you. And that's what we need to do that. Like, that's what I say. Like, buy all your stuff, like maybe day for like necessities and stuff like that. And daggone good and well, you don't probably need much stuff that you gotta literally go spend anything in no store, online, nothing. Just, you know what I mean? Leave it a day and watch how much the economy, watch how
it's a demonstration of the black buying power. Imagine if every black person actually cooperated and participated in that blackout day, and no black dollars went to buy anything in America. Just that one day, they would feel it economically.
Thank you. Exactly. The whole everything will drop. Even if we even got ours invested in that stock, it ain't gonna hurt us that much. So, you know what I'm saying? Still, but they'll realize, literally see that we do matter, because at the same time, you see how many of us got together, and I'm so literally proud of Springfield. I really am, that we didn't do no riots. We didn't, like, you know what I mean? Like, nobody that much went to jail. We didn't get killed,
Yeah.
So I was really so proud of Springfield, weren't you?
Absolutely.
Serious. So just imagine that, like how many people came together. They brought the babies and all that to teach them. I just could see, like, I'm a PCA, so like I don't have much time like that out there, but physically out there. But I'm trying as much as I can, like. So, and thank God for you to even answer the phone right now, because these are like so many questions that I need and we need to understand and work on. Because if we just break down, I believe, from every city, because there's not all bad cops, but at the same time, if you just see how many complaints a cop got, like in a 2-week period, and what is the complaints about, a domestic thing or what? Because then some people are really scared to do complaints on cops, because half of them in jail anyway if they even survive at the same time.
Yeah. Well,
so
sis,
like how do you go about that? Like, and like you said, it's the bottom line from the dollars too. Like,
well, it's all about accountability, and we've got to hold the system accountable, and we've got to be consistent. We can't just decide to be active in the wake of a George Floyd murder. We've got to be active all of the time. So this has to be sustained. We've got to sacrifice some things, some time, some effort, some money. James Madison always says the difference between a moment and a movement is sacrifice. And the question is, Black people, are we willing to sacrifice?
We have to. This is the thing I thought of for the June 20th. Listen, we can't go back in the past, and we can't relive it either. We can live together. How's that?
Yeah. Appreciate your call, sis. You take care.
All right. Thank you so much for what you're doing, Brother Swan. I'll talk to you prayerfully soon. You have my number.
All right. God bless.
Let's get this together. All right. Stay safe.
All right. You
bless.
413-337-1867. So let me tell you what happened here in Springfield. A week ago or so, couple of clergymen, one black, one Latino, Pastor Constant Cooley, Pastor Serrano, wanted to do a prayer vigil at City Hall. They contacted the mayor. The mayor acquiesced to their request, and then proceeded to hijack their program. He had Congressman Richie Neal. He had Bishop Mitchell Rosansky of the Catholic Diocese, and others that he had speak on the program. He had the bishop speak and the bishop close out in prayer. Pastor Cooley and Serrano had a whole agenda of pastors that they were going to have pray for certain areas. Pray for this, pray for that, pray for the other. That didn't happen because the mayor basically took over the program. Now, the interesting thing was Bishop Rosansky is now the Archbishop-elect for the St. Louis Diocese. He'll be leaving in August to go to St. Louis. I've already had several conversations from some of my clergy friends in the St. Louis area who have called me wanting to know about him because they know he's here in Springfield. And there are several Church of God in Christ jurisdictions in the St. Louis area and bishop friends of mine who want to know about this new archbishop who's coming their way. Bishop Rosansky sponsored a prayer vigil on racial healing that they held at St. Michael's Cathedral on Friday. Now, the interesting thing about this prayer vigil on racial healing was after going to City Hall and being highlighted in a prayer vigil that was sponsored by Black clergy and Latino clergy, Bishop Rosansky, no other Catholic priest came to that, for whatever reason. He did not invite the Black and Latino clergy outside of the diocese to participate in their prayer vigil on racial healing. I saw Father Gus Savage. Of course, he's a part of the diocese, one Black priest in the diocese. Saw one other Black woman who's part of the diocese. Other than that, it was a room full of white people. And I'm trying to figure out for the life of me, maybe somebody can help me understand, how do you go to a prayer vigil sponsored by Black and Latino clergy and be highlighted as a speaker and the prayer at the end, have your own prayer vigil for racial healing, and you don't invite any of them or any other Black or Latino clergy from the community to participate? And you're in there with a room full of white people. And then how does the media cover this and not ask that question? I mean, I'm sitting here rolling my eyes at the media, both at the Republican newspaper, at Western Mass News, at Channel 22, at all of the media that covered it, Mass Appeal, all. And I'm rolling my eyes like, how in the hell do you all not ask the question, Bishop, how are you having a service for racial healing and ain't nobody here but white people? I mean, did you think to invite the people who have been racially hurt? Did you think to invite the people who are in need of healing? The people who have been ostracized, oppressed, dehumanized, brutalized, lynched and murdered on the streets of America? You didn't invite none of them. So it's a bunch of white folks feeling good about themselves because we had a prayer for racial healing, but we didn't invite no black people to it. Y'all just don't get it. We don't want symbolism. We want substance. We don't need y'all symbolism. We don't need you getting in St. Michael's Cathedral with a bunch of other white people praying for racial healing, but you don't want to let no niggas up in there. Come on, man. Are y'all serious right now? But the mayor went to that. The mayor went to that. He didn't come to the NAACP's digital town hall on police accountability that we did in collaboration with our friends at the Pioneer Valley Project. So we were a multicultural, event. Planned in a multicultural way. Black folk and white folk and Latino folk and young folk and old folk, PVP and the NAACP and others came together to say, as citizens of Springfield, we want the mayor and the police chief to come so we can talk about police accountability. He didn't come to that. But a Catholic prayer for racial healing that didn't invite no black people. He went to that. And now he wants to have his own and choose who he invites to it. Nah, I ain't interested. Sorry. I don't want no more window dressing. I don't want no symbolism. I don't want no conversations where a room full of people go around the table and kowtow and kiss behind and tell you what a great job you're doing. I don't want you controlling the agenda, telling everybody about all your initiatives, the C3, the Violence Prevention Task Force, the this, the that, the third, all of the great and wonderful things that you are doing and your administration is doing, and bragging and boasting on yourself, and then giving lip service to the concerns of those that are there, those that are bold enough to express it, because at the roundtables that I've been to, very few people were ever bold enough to be candid enough to express their concerns with what's happening in the police department and in Springfield. You know, they're afraid they're going to get a grant cut. They're not going to have access. They're not going to be friends. They ain't going to get no more photo opportunities. So they sit there and soft shoe the stuff that they say in the barbershops and in the churches and to each other. They're scared to say in front of the mayor. And I'm just tired of being the only guy in the room that's bold enough to say what needs to be said. So I don't want to sit around a table full of people, you know, going through motions. And then at the end of the day, the mayor can feel good about, we had the round table discussion and we had all these people here. They didn't say anything was wrong, so I must be doing a great job and keep on doing, you know, what you always do. No, I can't be a part of that. Can't be a part of that. I can't be a part. It's this administration that worked in collaboration with this police department and the district attorney to cover up the Nathan Bill incident. And if it wasn't for Maura Healey, I am part of her racial justice task force. If it wasn't for her investigating and indicting these officers, they never would have come to justice or be coming to justice. There never would have been an inquiry into their actions. They never would have to face the consequences of their actions if it were up to the mayor and the police department and the district attorney. They had their shot. They failed to hold them accountable. And my question is, how in the world does the police department investigate, the district attorney come to the conclusion that nobody is worth indicting, no charges should be filed, but then the state attorney general indicts 14 cops? How does that happen? How does that happen? And then I'm supposed to go to your hand-picked forum with your hand-picked invitees, so you can tell us that you're doing a great job and no suggestions that we have need to be adhered to. No, I ain't interested in that. We're tired of symbolism. Just like the Catholic bishop's prayer vigil, nothing but symbolism. You're not serious about racial healing when you won't even invite the folks who need to be healed. You won't even invite the folks that have been hurt to come to your service of racial healing. You ain't serious. You're not serious. Stop playing with us. This is real. This is about black people dying in the streets. This ain't about you feeling altruistic because I had a prayer vigil. So I can check that off the list. Check the box. Had the prayer vigil. We're tired of that. We're tired of those games. Tired of those games. People are dying. We ain't got time for that foolishness. Don't have time for it. 413-337-1867. And I know I don't just make black folk or white folk nervous. I know I make these black professionals nervous as well. And they got to apologize to the mayor. They got to apologize. You know, that Talbert, mayor, don't worry about that Talbert, he's just a race baiter. What kind of black person borrows terms from white supremacists to use against other black people so they can fit in? And listen, I know my role. I've always known it. From the time I was a teenager to the time I went off to college and was fighting the University of Massachusetts to divest out of South Africa. I've always known my role. Yeah, I'm a bomb thrower. I'm a rabble rouser. I'm a proud one. I know my role. I'm a free black man. And see, I can say what I say because I'm not afraid of anyone taking anything from me. I got nothing that you can take. I got nothing you can hold over my head to keep me silent. I'm not selling my soul for a grant, for access, for a photo opportunity, for a job. So I have the freedom to speak truth to power. And if you don't have that, I ain't mad at you. I don't begrudge anybody for safeguarding their livelihood. You got to have a roof over your head. You got to feed your kids. You got to live. And I get it. And I don't begrudge you for that. That's not your role. But don't throw shade my way because you ain't free enough to say what needs to be said and to do what needs to be done. You just play your role, I play my role. We can work together for the betterment of black people, but I'm tired of black professionals all that reverend is just a rabble rouser. Don't worry about it. Trying to placate your white associates. And this is what gets me, because it's the black professionals who are trying to placate their white associates and pretend they have no association with a rabble rouser like me, that are the first ones to call me when the police go upside your son's head. Y'all the first ones to call me when Pookie and Ray Ray and them in your family get discriminated against, get beat by the police. Y'all the first ones to call me when Rashandra gets fired from her job and you think it was discrimination. Y'all will ring my phone up real quick. But then around your white buddies, you talk smack. I'm so tired of Uncle and Auntie ruckuses in the black community. Y'all get on my nerves. Y'all get on my nerves. So tired of the buck dancers and the foot shufflers. You know, if you ain't down with the work, like I said, I ain't mad at you. Mad at you, but stop throwing salt. Stop trying to block the progress of those of us that are bold enough to stand up. And I imagine what's going to happen, you know, at the mayor's little shindig today. There's going to be some black professionals there. Oh, yes, boss, Mr. Mayor, you's doing a good job. Yes, Mr. Mayor, I don't see no problems at all. Don't know what's wrong with that Bishop Swan. You've always been good to us niggers. We're tired of y'all. We are tired of y'all. Just stop it. Just stop it. Just cut it out. Y'all gotta excuse me. I just, you know, I got sellout overload, man. I'm just, you know, I'm overloaded with these folks who you're right, Sister Stephanie, throw rocks and hide their hand. That's exactly what they do. Exactly what they do. You know, we got to stop that. We got to stop that. If advocacy and activism is not your role, I'm not mad at you. Play your role. If you're a black professional and you're helping young people get into certain career opportunities or whatever you're doing in your role, play your role. That's cool. I'm good with that. We need black professionals, but we don't need black professionals selling out black activists so you can curry favor with white folks. That Bishop Swan's just a race baiter. If it wasn't for so-called race baiters, your black behind wouldn't be in the black profession you're in right now. It was race baiters like me, the ones you revere now that they're dead. What the hell you think Dr. King was? You think they didn't call him a race baiter or a rabble rouser? Do you think they didn't call Malcolm a rabble rouser or a race baiter? Do you think they didn't call Medgar Evers that? But y'all revere them now that they're dead. But people like me, you throw under the bus so you can curry favor with white folks. We're tired of black sellouts like you. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just being raw today. You know, that's the mood that I'm in. That's the mood that I'm in. You know, listen, if you ain't going to support black activism, just get out the way and be quiet. Enjoy what you think is your privilege in parity with white folks. Enjoy it while it lasts. At some point in time, you'll get a wake-up call. Somebody will remind you that you're black. Trust me. They will. And And when the police go upside your son's head, I'm going to be here for you to call. And I'm going to help you too, regardless of how much you sold out. I'm still going to help you because it's about my people, not about me, and not about you. 413-337-1867. But trust me, they're going to be, y'all, I promise y'all go on and I don't know if the mayor's town hall thing is going to be streamed live, but y'all watch it. Y'all going to see some that are going to be in there. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I can testify that the neighborhood show is safer since you've been on board. We don't have no problems with the police. You're gonna see the foot shuffling. I promise you. And you will see very few that will speak truth to power. I'm not gonna say none. Somebody might, eat their spinach before the meeting. Somebody might get a little dose of courage, before it pops off. I don't know. But you definitely gonna see the round table behind kissing. We're tired of symbolism, Mr. Mayor. We're tired of symbolism, Mr. Bishop. How dare you have a prayer vigil for racial healing and don't invite no black people to it? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you have a town hall, Mr. Mayor, and only have your select invite list and it not be open to every resident of this city who wants to speak their mind? How dare you blow off the NAACP and the Pioneer Valley Project's digital town hall, but then go to an all-white prayer vigil for racial healing? This is the type of hypocrisy that we're dealing with in our city. I'm not talking about Minneapolis. I ain't talking about Baltimore. I'm not talking about New York. I ain't talking about Philadelphia. I ain't talking about Boston. I'm talking about right here in Springfield, Massachusetts. I said it. And y'all can tell them I said it. They're probably watching me right now. And here's the thing about me. Whatever I say to y'all, I'll say it in the mayor's office. That's real. 413-337-1867. Y'all scared? I got y'all scared to call now. My phone lines was lit up a little while ago. Oh boy, I got y'all scared now. Y'all like, uh-oh, Bishop done turned a whole nother way now. Woo-wee! Man, I'm telling you. Oh, hold up. I got to send him a message. This is my executive director for my fraternity, and we got some business to take care of. But I got y'all scared. Got y'all scared to call me now. You're like, I ain't going to be calling. They going to tell the mayor that I called Bishop Swan's show. I don't want Massa to get mad at me today. Oh, my goodness. Good Lord, have mercy. Let's see who has Falba Smith Reed. Good morning. Sabrina Brantley. Good morning. Bobby Williams. Good morning. Bishop Stennis Powell, my friend. Good morning. Good morning to Reverend Catherine Cummings. Good morning to you. Chris Jarrell. Good morning. Kathy Swanson. Good morning. My cousin Kang. Good morning, Stephanie Johnson. My daughter Whitney is here. Good morning. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Bishop Swan.
How
this
you
is
doing?
Reverend Catherine Cummins. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. How you feeling?
Oh, feeling great, feeling great. Great speaking with you last week at Mount Zion.
Yeah, it was a good
Appreciate your
forum.
words, Doc.
Thank you. Same with you.
Oh, very beautiful. I had two questions, sir.
Sure.
One, I have actually gotten that invite today to be with the mayor's office, and so I was going to give you a call before I came on. So I definitely want to get with you later. Okay. But if you could speak to how to address internalized white supremacy in our community for people of color. Mm-hmm. And then secondly, if you would address some of the things you need to see with police accountability in Springfield that needs to be changed. Because I'm taking my notes from my big brother in Christ so that we can come correct.
Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, one of the most important things, I think, in terms of police accountability is true civilian review. We don't have it. The mayor will tell you we've got a complaint review board. I'm going to tell you his talking points right now. We've got a complaint review board. It consists of some of great people in the community. You know them. You probably worked with them. And every recommendation they've made, the commissioner has adopted or exceeded. That's what he's going to tell you. What he's not going to tell you is they don't review every complaint against the police. 2, everyone on that board serves at his pleasure. 3, they have no statutory authority. They cannot compel any witnesses to testify. They cannot subpoena any records. They only get what's given to them. They have no authority in terms of employment, in terms of hiring, firing, giving raises, promotions or demotions or discipline. Everything they do is advisory, and the commissioner does not have to heed their advice. And what they give advice on is limited. Most of the decisions the commissioner makes never flows through the complaint review board at all. It is a far cry from true civilian review, where they would be in charge of hiring, firing, discipline, promotions, demotions, policy, all of that. So we need true civilian review. Boston is going through the same thing, trying to get true civilian review. The other thing we need, and this is critical, anytime we have incidents where police are accused of excessive force, where police use their firearms, where someone is shot by a police officer, someone's killed by a police officer, anything that rises to that serious level needs to be independently investigated. We need to have an agreement. I had a semi-agreement with District Attorney Mark Mastriani before he went to the federal bench. But the district attorney needs to ensure that an independent process, whether you're using state police, whether you're using federal law enforcement, somebody else is investigating the Springfield police. Not what happens is the district attorney depends on a report from the internal investigation department of the Springfield Police Department to make a decision. So basically what happens is a police officer is accused of excessive force or whatever the charge is. The police department investigate the police officer, and then they forward their findings to the DA, and the DA makes a decision on whether or not to indict a police officer based on an investigation done by the same police department. How nepotic is that? And so that system, that nepotic relationship between the DA and the police needs to be broken up. That needs to change. We cannot have confidence in police when they are investigating themselves. And then we need honesty and candor between the community, the administration, and the police. We don't need to be placated. We don't need to be soft-shoed. We don't need symbolism. We don't need for you to sit here and tell us everything that you've done that's so great, but then you don't want to listen to the community when they try to tell you what their concerns are with the police department. If we could at least start with those three things, I think we'll be on our way to better police community relations. But we keep being at loggerheads with the mayor in terms of trying to change these three basic things that would make for better policing.
Amen. All great recommendations. I mean, it's straightforward. It's about accountability. You know, if something happens on our jobs or with the church, you know, people, of course, can appeal to the trustee board,
yeah,
you know, to the pastoral review committee,
yeah,
to the bishop, to the district superintendent. You know, there's a avenue for redress,
right,
and grievance, and there's even scriptural references of how we deal with conflict in the church, even between members, right? And so the same thing we want to see in our leaders. I last week on CNN I saw a clip, and it was talking about Officer Chauvin, the one who was kneeling on George Floyd's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds.
Yeah.
Before he died, was murdered. And as they were taking psychologists to review the situation, one of the psychologists said that he should have never been a police officer, and that 40% of people who apply to become police officers register in some range of narcissism, psychopathy, or otherwise. And so just as clergy, we are psychologically evaluated for those of us in mainline denominations, right? So there won't be another Jim Jones incident.
Yeah.
He's saying that in the policing culture, that the front end needs to be changed too, about who we let on the force in the first place.
Absolutely. And people, there's been a movement to have psychological evaluations for candidates for police for so long. And I mean, you can look at that man's eyes as he's near, and there's a second video that's out that's even worse than the first, because you see the bystanders saying, "Why are you still on his neck? He can check his pulse. He doesn't have a pulse. He's not moving." And you can see that he's already dead. He's already, and this man is still kneeling on his neck. And then at the end of it, he walks away to his police car like nothing happened. Like, let me go have lunch after I just killed a man. I mean, this is harrowing. It's crazy. And the disease of white supremacy that is so ingrained in and here's what Dr. King said. Dr. King, and people always want to quote, you know, the nice sounding ones that don't make them feel uncomfortable. Dr. King said, "I'm sorry to say that most white people are racist, either consciously or unconsciously." That's the reality, and many of them don't want to hear that. They want to deny that. They don't want to have that conversation, and so I think things like the conversations about race, the task force that was basically built by Waleska Lugo de Jesus, and initiatives like that are so vitally important to get people just to begin to talk about it. In America, most white folks don't want to talk about racism. And they say stuff like, you know, "I'm so tired of hearing about race." If you're tired of talking about racism, what do you think we feel like in terms of experiencing it? And we'll never get anywhere in terms of moving the needle against systemic racism if we can't even honestly have a conversation about it.
I so agree. I was just talking to a good friend and priest, Father Bermudez, about that, and that is literally the words we just said this morning, being tired of racism. And up in Greenfield, there was an incident where a bus driver became enraged with the people of color on the bus. When they got off the bus, he actually tried to run them over. And they had been saying for quite a while that there's no racism here. And here was a full-blown event that just happened. So I have to look it up. But if people are tired of talking about racism, those of us who are experiencing it, we're past exhausted. We're burnt out.
Absolutely.
We're burnt out. Yeah.
Well, Reverend, I'm looking for some voices like yours, you know, to
yes, sir.
to ring loud and true and speak truth to power. And I appreciate you. I appreciate the work that you do in our community. And you know, stay strong.
Yes, sir. Well, we're so proud of you as well, Bishop Swan, and grateful for your leadership and being a witness. And you know, you becoming just like Jesus more and more each day, turning them tables over. And we're so thankful for your clear voice on social justice and addressing systemic racism, police brutality, and the like. It's making us better as a people, as humanity. So thank you so much for your dedication to this ministry of reconciliation and justice.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Take care.
You too. Let's see. A few more minutes left in the program. 413-337-1867. That was the Reverend Catherine Cummings, very fine pastor in our city, Wesley United Methodist Church on State Street in Springfield. So y'all can check her out. We just, I mean, we need people to play their roles. You know, everybody doesn't have the same role. Some folks are going to mentor our youth. Some folks are going to create entrepreneurship opportunities. Some folk are going to take care of our seniors. Some folk are going to ensure that we're sound financially. They're going to help us with financial literacy and to budget and to save money. And you know, some folk are going to be like me. They're going to speak truth to power. They're going to do what they need to do. Let's play our role and not begrudge others for theirs, just to curry favor with white folks. We don't need to throw each other under the bus. We don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. Okay? I get that you may not be comfortable doing what I do. I don't expect for you to be comfortable doing what I do. I'm sometimes not even comfortable doing what I do. But listen, don't begrudge me for what I do. You know, it is what it is. Let me play my role. I'm comfortable enough. I've been doing it for long enough. God has blessed me in spite of, you know, and folk have tried to, they have tried to block me. They have tried to make me pay. They have tried to do all of that. But at the end of the day, you know, God takes care of me. You know, he provides for me and my family. He makes a way for me. And so I've learned to depend on him and not worry about what folk are going to try to do to me. If God be for me, he's more than the world against me. So I'm good. I'm good. What I do know is we've got to continue in this struggle and in this fight. We've got generations to save. You know, I started in this thing as a young man, running around with Art Sirota, a Jewish lawyer, visiting black men in jail, trying to help them as they come back into the community. I started in this as a student on campus, running around trying to get UMass to divest out of South Africa, fighting racism and bigotry on campus, and fighting against the social ills that affected our community back in the 1980s. I now have grown children and I have grandchildren. I'm fighting for my grandchildren now, that they'll have a better world to live in. I've got 10 grandchildren, 8 beautiful granddaughters, 2 beautiful grandsons, and 1 grandchild on the way. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. Working on number 11. I'm fighting for them right now. That the world should not be the same for them as it was for my grandparents. That black men should not still be being lynched in America in my grandchildren's generation like they were in my grandparents' generation. And y'all keep telling me about all this progress in America. And we don't deny progress, but y'all can't deny that racism, anti-black bigotry, and white supremacy is as strong as ever. As strong as ever. 2 of my grandmother's brothers were lynched in Mississippi. George Floyd is lynched on the streets of Minneapolis in my grandchildren's generation. We still got a long way to go, baby. A long way to go. A long way to go. You're right, Brother Stokes. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. So I'm not telling those of you all who have been invited. I know the rest of the community, some of y'all haven't been invited to the town hall. You won't be on the Zoom. You'll be able to watch it on Facebook, I suspect. But put your comments in. Let them know what you think. Let them know what you feel about it. I will not be participating just out of the pure disrespect that he showed to PVP and the NAACP when he refused to participate in our event after promising he would, and then a week later going to an all-white prayer vigil. I'm not going to be there. I'm not going to participate in that. That doesn't mean you shouldn't participate. You go ahead and watch it. You go ahead and tell me what you think. We'll download about it after. So listen, I got to get off the air on tomorrow. It'll be up on my social media. Listen, this is important. It'll be up on my social media later today. We are having a session with Jeff Sullivan, the CEO of New Valley Bank, about the payroll protection plan, about the PPP and other aspects of the CARES Act for small black businesses, entrepreneurs, churches. You all need to apply for this money. You need to get this money while it is still available. Okay? This money needs to flow in the black community. It's going to be tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. We're going to put that information out. You need to be a part of that session, right? So keep an eye out on my social media. It's going to happen. On Wednesday, our virtual Bible study will be at 7. And listen, on Sunday, come on back to church. Come on back in. Listen, On Sunday at 11 a.m. at Spring of Hope, we're having a parking lot praise party for Father's Day. It's Father's Day. Let's make a big deal out of Father's Day. Let's celebrate our black fathers that are out there. Okay? Wear your mask. There's plenty of room for social distancing. We've got a big field. We'll have chairs in the parking lot. We're going to bring the podium and the speakers and the music and everything on the outside. So we'll be outside of the sanctuary. You'll be able to social distance. You'll be able to be protected with your mask. We're going to have a parking lot praise party honoring our fathers on this coming Sunday. So I want you all back in the sanctuary. Come on back, Spring of Hope. Come on back, community and friends. It's time to celebrate our fathers, okay? Listen, I got some business that I got to take care of. So I got to move on out your way. Until the next time I talk to you and you talk to me, always remember, you know it, God loves you, and so do I. Peace and blessings. Y'all be safe out there.
Thank you, Jesus. You've got a responsibility to go back to Lodabar. Your work's not done just because you made it to the palace. Oh, bless the name of the Lord. But you've got a responsibility to help somebody else make it across. Thank you, Jesus. Don't pull up the ladder because you climbed to the top. Don't blow up the bridge because you made your way across. Thank you, Jesus. But reach your hand back down the ladder and pull somebody else up out of Lodabar. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Tell themselves it's all right if you got it now. Just hold it for me. I'll be there to get it after a while.